everyone, it's a pleasure to be here with my peers from the CAIO Circle from this fireside chat. We're going to be covering today the topic of what great leadership actually looks like in an AI-first world. My name is Lorena Cartagena. My background is mainly on data analytics and insights. I'm currently working at Diageo, at a global consumer goods company, and mainly part of my career has been focused on helping organizations to drive insights and generate business value with data and analytics. And as AI reshapes, the question is now more about how do we manage leadership and what can we do not only with technology, but how can we include people? So I'm very excited to explore this topic today with Ivana and Elizabeth. So Ivana, handing it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. My name is Ivana Markovic. I am a senior commercial executive with over 30 years of global experience across revenue growth management, brand marketing, and corporate strategy. I've worked at companies like Church & Dwight, Mars, McKinsey, and Coca-Cola. The last 20 years or so have been specifically focused on everything revenue growth management and, of course, AI and how we are embracing that in our functions. So happy to be here. Elizabeth, over to you.
Thank you, Lorena and Ivana. I'm Elizabeth Barayuga. I am an AI and data leader aiding organizations that turn AI and data analytics from a technology initiative to more business impactful items. And things I've worked under logistics and operational experience all throughout my 25 years. And I'm happy to be here to have this conversation of how leaders have to adjust to this AI first technology and world we live in. So Lorena, let's start it off with your first question.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So this question is for you, Ivana. So what does great leadership look like in an AI first world? And what leadership qualities become most important in this age of AI transformation?
Wonderful question. Great leadership in an AI first world is not about having the best algorithms. It's about creating the conditions where humans and AI outperform what either could do alone. So better together. The role of a leader is certainly shifting from decision maker to what I call decision architect. We are no longer the only ones making calls. We're designing systems where better decisions happen faster. Faster is a key word here. And the second shift is mindset. It's curiosity over certainty. So the best leaders today aren't the ones with all the answers. They're the ones that are asking the better questions of both the teams and the machine. And finally, it's speed with trust. So AI accelerates everything, but leadership ensures that we don't outrun judgment, ethics, and trust. Those are very, very important. And in this world, leadership isn't about controlling the outcomes. It's about scaling intelligence and asking and being curious. So I want to ask about the biggest mistakes that leaders make. And this question is to Elizabeth. So right now we're at the moment where AI is moving incredibly fast, faster than I've ever seen anything move. But leadership behavior is not always keeping up. So the question is, what are we doing wrong? Elizabeth, what's the biggest mistake that you're seeing leaders make right now when it comes to AI?
I think thinking about AI as a standalone technology initiative makes leaders think very close-minded on how this shift is happening right now. I think there's different types of pillars that we have to bring into in this mindset of like shifting very fast and adjusting to the technologies that were being given to us. I think the focus right now is shifting from a project-based organization to a product-oriented organization where our capabilities are enhanced as enterprise assets supported by the right governance, the right workforce enablement too. Ultimately, I think AI first operational model aligns to technology, data, and business teams around a continuous innovation and business impact. As you have said, Ivana, it's very fast. So as AI leaders, we don't want to be solely single-mindedly looking at it as a technology shift or phenomenon. but an actual change in how we operate in our roles and how we enable our people in order to enhance this technology as part of our toolkit as we devise business outcomes for our organizations. So for you, Ivana, what do you think should leaders, for Lorena, how should you think leaders thinks about upskilling or replacing roles? Is it uniquely human? What unique human skills do you think that we have identified or you have seen that are becoming more valuable as AI becomes more capable?
Yeah, that's a very good question because I think everyone is trying to think more about replacing roles with AI, but actually is how the work is changing. I feel there's certain things that AI is going to help you overcome, and it's going to be, to Ivana's point, how we can make things faster. But still, there's going to be certain tasks within the roles that cannot be replaced and need the human intervention. So it's more about trying to understand what within the role can be automated and how can AI be leveraged to speed up the conversation and ensure that we are accelerating those decisions and helping the human bring that judgment, right? That's kind of one of the skills that is very important is AI is as good as you give the context behind, as good as you give whatever information you provide to AI, that's as good as the answer you're going to get. So it's more about understanding the human capabilities, the change management, ensuring that the building your connections with your peers and your partners are still there because that's something that AI cannot replace. In a sense, is there are certain tasks which are going to be repetitive that you can automate definitely with AI, but you're going to get some trade-offs of what's a human skill versus what needs just a simple, not simple, but repetitive question with AI. And you need the human to still take accountability of those decisions that are being made. You can just not let AI take control over everything. I think the human plus machine combination is always going to be there. And that's a skill that you need to bring to the new people, and ensuring that as AI moves fast, because AI is moving very fast, how you can keep your people engaged and learning through this as a skill more than AI is going to replace you on your job, but how can you leverage AI for your benefit and maybe doing something different? Good. So now based on these, I have a question for you, Ivana, now. And how would you prevent AI from becoming a tool for the few instead of a capability to everyone? Because as AI is moving very fast, how do you build that confidence on your teams?
Right. How do you bring everyone along, right? So if AI stays in the hands of just a few experts, it will absolutely fail to transform the business. Full stop. It will fail. Democratization of AI is not a technology decision, it's a leadership decision. And leaders decide whether AI is a privilege for the few or a capability for everyone. And I hope they decide that it's a capability for everyone. So the fastest way to build confidence is to embed AI workflows into everyday workflows. So embed AI decisions into everything that we do every day. No side projects, no pilots, but real decisions. You know, if you're dealing in the RGM world, it's pricing, promotions, forecasting. It has to be embedded in that digital workflow. And just as important, it is to create a safe learning environment and safe learning velocity. So people need permission to be able to experiment, to try, to work with each other, to fail, to share what they're learning, all without fear. Because training alone doesn't build confidence. They have to use it, right? They have to try it, they have to use it, they have to experiment with it. And the goal isn't AI literacy, it's AI fluency. And fluency only comes with doing. So that is critical. Now I've switching beyond that, I have a question for you, Elizabeth. How do leaders identify talent that can thrive? As AI is changing more than how we work, it's changing what great talent looks like, you know, what we value, how we assess the potential, and how people create impact. So question to you is, what has fundamentally changed? What are you seeing in terms of how leaders identify new talent that can thrive in this kind of environment?
Tough question, but I think first and foremost, I think fundamentals hasn't changed, but the balance has changed. You mentioned earlier that there's always this give and take around where to place AI and democratization of it. And I think as leaders in this AI era, we are still curious in order to how to adapt, collaborate, and actually how to embed that to our everyday life, right? Like I said, embedding to our everyday workflows is as important as giving them velocity in order to actually experiment. So that balance has to be there. And I think as any other transformations that we've seen in the 1990s from the internet era, I think fundamentally the great talent that people have right now has to be one only piece of it that needs to be harnessed. It has to be at least amplified for its importance of certain traits that we now need to actually encourage everybody. I think learning agility, like you said, fast, but also being safe. Like, how do you do that? Because when you're fast, you forget about all of the other things about governance, about security. But I think that needs to be a balancing act. Curiosity and experimentation has to be there. Like you said, we haven't seen this fast developments. Every single month, every single day, somebody's idea became something that is in our hands. But then, as you mentioned, AI fluency, that ability to learn and to adjust based on what it is. And learning is not about just going to training, but using it, embedding it to everyday decisions that we make. So it's not about like kind of fearing it, but it's about trying to incorporate it on the new lifestyle that we do in our work. I think first and foremost, the human skills are now being enhanced, right, and with AI. And I think the biggest thing that we need to do is actually acknowledge that it is not defined by who knows most about AI, but it's defined on who can learn the fastest, adapt continuously because it's still changing, and then also translate them, these emerging capabilities, into business values. And each of us have a different definition of business value, from operational efficiency to productivity in our lives, and also generating, in your case, Ivana, generating revenue, growth, products across the board. I think that solves it all, which qualities matters for the future, but also tells us to learn about how do we balance them off, not from the technical side alone, the human side, and also the curiosity and the capability side. So now I turn it over to you, Lorena, to close us off in this wonderful conversation that we've had in the last 5 minutes.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Ivana and Elizabeth. Very thoughtful conversation. I want to just leave everyone with one final message. And AI is not only about how to embed a new technology. It's more about, as we were talking, how to ensure AI leadership is there, and we bring along the people and how decisions are being made. Embed the technology within your day-to-day routines. Try it out. If you don't try it out, it's going to be very hard on how to embed it within your day-to-day routine. So ensure that you bring your people along, they embed it within their day-to-day routines. And as AI keeps evolving very quickly, we just need to keep our organization and our people along this transformation. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today, and happy to be here. And we'll keep talking about these topics.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This was wonderful.